the end of this video, I'll talk about what's the I'll talk about the Welcome, everybody, to the show. I am the Star Wars Daddy, and I'm bringing you a video that was supposed to be for next week, but I had an issue with this week's video. CAS, I thought, was sending me back a couple items, and I got the box from them, and it did not have the items I thought they were sending me. And so I'm still waiting on those. And it's been like 3 weeks since the grading has been done, which typically means I've got to reach out to them. And then all of a sudden, they'll send me an invoice and get it out to me. But that was going to be the Darkwing Duck video. So I'm hoping that will happen next week. If it doesn't happen next week, I've got something else in store and it might come out in 2 weeks. But listen, I think we all understand that that video might be a flop and not as popular as my Star Wars videos. But I'm going to take a chance because I love them and they're all graded and I think it'll make a great video. But this video has been bumped up a week, and this is my August mail haul video. This is all the items that I've added to my collection in the month of August, and we've got Ninja Turtles, we've got Simpsons, we've got Batman, we have Transformers, we have Dick Tracy, and we have the usual Star Wars items that are going to blow your mind. A couple of videos in case you just haven't seen them. This is my episode 37 of my eBay listing videos. This is where I list tons of items on eBay that start on a Sunday. They're 7-day auctions. They end on the next Sunday. And then we go over all the sales. We give shout outs to all the people that purchase from me. It's a whole thing. And those happen every single week. And this one here that you're seeing, I sold 100 items for $5,700. It's unbelievable. And this week, currently on my eBay site, which this video will air Sunday morning, and the afternoon, there's gonna be 95 items. And then next week, there's gonna be 90 items. It's unbelievable. My inventory is through the roofs. It's overflowing, and I gotta get all these items out of here. Up here is my Luke Skywalker Focus from my collection video. And this is all the items I have that are Luke Skywalker. We had Mechanos, we had PvPs, we had Bossk, we had Little Letties, we had Mexican bootlegs, we had baggied figures, we had no COOs, we had the full gamut of Luke Skywalker. And so you gotta check that video out. And speaking of videos that weren't that successful, this is me going to a minor league baseball game here local, and it was Star Wars night, and I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of people that were dressed up in movie quality outfits. There was Chewbacca, there was R2-D2s that were like life-size and made noises. They looked like they were right from the movie. And I go and I hang out with them, and we watch a baseball game, and I eat hot dogs, and we go nuts. And the video is actually pretty entertaining. I would love if you could go in and watch this video and give me a like. I would really appreciate it. If you could, before we get into this August mail haul video, if you could please hit that like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. At the end of this video, I'm going to discuss what the upcoming videos are, and that bell notification is what will notify you when those videos come out. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video to hear what is upcoming. But enough of all this, let's get in to this video and see all the amazing items I've added to my collection. What? Okay, let's rattle these guys out. We'll start off with the wrestlers. These are the 1986 LJN Titan wrestlers. We got Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. If you know, you know. He is one of the greatest managers of all time. And then we got another manager. We got Captain Lou Albano or Balbano. I can never remember how he pronounced the last name. It's Captain Lou. And he was a manager. There is print that was something right here, but it's faded off. I'd be confused when it said the earthquake on here. I was thinking, this isn't the Canadian earthquake. He's kind of big like that. Then we have the Iron Sheik. I mean, one of the classic wrestlers of all-time history. What a gimmick he had. And he despised, in real life, Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan was one of my heroes. I've talked about it before. I've got a bunch of other Hulk Hogan stuff and signed Hulk Hogan memorabilia. And the Iron Sheik, he was on Howard Stern a couple times, and he was intoxicated and going crazy about his disdain for Hulk Hogan in real life. He Google search the Iron Sheik, his hate for Hulk Hogan, and it'll pop up, and it'll keep you entertained for a good 15-20 minutes. Okay, let's go over a couple of these little Batman figures. We got some Toy Biz ones. These guys here are Toy Biz. We got the Joker, obviously, and I think I'm missing something that goes into his back here. And I got the Batman with the removable cape. And he also has a couple of these batarangs here that come with him. I believe these are for him. Or they could be for this Kenner one, which is Michael Keaton Batman, because he's got, well, he's kind of a different batarang there. This is Michael Keaton one. I think this is probably from the second movie that came out, not the first one. He's got this extra battle armor that goes on him here. So they all came in one big lot with these 2 card backs, and I got them. Oh, there goes Bart. Oh boy. Got these for like $13, and I was like, okay, well, for $13, I've got to get them. And then it came with this case with all the old school Batman cards. And so it's a whole stack of them in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. Those will maybe go into some weird toy lot or something, because I've got a bunch of like miscellaneous type of toys that come through with all these different collections that have piled up. So maybe I'll go with them, because I don't think I have a need for these. I haven't even looked through them all. And oh yeah. Bunch of cool stuff there. I love Batman, and I've got a whole bunch of superhero type action figures that we'll go over at some point in the future, or maybe I'll sell them. I don't know. But that's why I picked those up, because they were so cheap. Next up is a bunch of these little stuffed animals with the plastic heads of all the Simpsons main characters here. Again, got these for super cheap. I think it was like $14. And it helped with the free shipping, or, reduced shipping. So I just threw them in, and they basically came with free shipping with all the other items I purchased from this one seller. And I love The Simpsons, and I only have a couple things. I'm going to zoom in on something. I had one of these made for my son. It's right here. It's a poster of all of us as Simpsons characters, and I got that for one of his birthdays. And as you can see, it's now down here because he no longer really cares to have that kind of stuff in his room. And so I'll just keep all that stuff down here. I've got other Simpsons stuff that's signed by the different actors and creators, and it's all in a closet somewhere. So eventually I'll have it all put up down here. I'll have a little Simpsons area. Next is this sealed model kit of Dick Tracy's car, and I am probably going to open this up and put it all together. I have the 2 cars from the Dick Tracy line, and they are down here, and they're all complete. And then I've got all my Dick Tracy carded figures there. Eventually, I would prefer to have them all loose graded. I think they look really cool with the loose grades, and I've only seen a couple of them on eBay that are up for sale, and those cards are pretty messed up there. So at some point, I'm going to get them all loose graded, I think. But a bunch of cool art on here, the pictures from the movie, and I don't really know how to, I've never really put one of these together, so I'm just going to figure it out, and maybe I'll make a short out of it as a time lapse as I put this thing together. But figure to give me some sort of content, and but I mean, it's in really nice condition. And next up is this vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle party wagon. It's all complete, and I got a really good deal on this. I had my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle focus video, which is popping up right now. You can see that thumbnail, and this was not included because I didn't have this yet. And this will just go down next to all of those loose graded figures and mint on card graded figures. I think this thing pops out, but I can't remember how this thing pops out. Hit a button? What do you do? Oh, son of a gun. Oh, this thing pops down. Yeah, so there you go. This thing pops out, and one of the Ninja Turtles would sit here, and who knows what he would do. I guess he would slice somebody as they were going by. But it's in incredible condition and super nice. Came with the 2 stink bombs. And I guess one is a Stinko and one's a laugh gas bomb. Glad to add this to my collection. And next here, I think you know who this is. This is Optimus Prime. And it is something I've never had, ever. I had friends that had this figure. He was just a little too expensive when I was younger to get this. And but I did have other Transformers when I was growing up, and I played from garage sales and stuff that my parents picked up here and there. But it's all complete, and I'm going to open this up, and so we'll just cut right to him transformed. Okay, and here he is all transformed. He's got this little hose thing here. It's probably, I guess it's the gas hose. Not sure that really would help him. But you got the blaster here, and he looks pretty cool. And the stickers aren't too bad. I mean, they're still on there. And there's the back. That's what it looks like. And then we got his back of the semi-truck here. And it's got these guns that pop up. This little car, it does shoot out still, so that mechanism works. It's not super powerful, but it does pop out. And all the stickers are there. So pretty cool item. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this because I don't really have space for a Transformer. But I have another one coming that was one that I had all through my childhood that I had sold off a long time ago. And so I'm going to add that one back in. It's a much smaller Transformer. But maybe we'll get a section up on the wall behind me. And we'll start putting up some of these miscellaneous toys. Okay, now we're going to get into our Star Wars items. And if you saw my Japanese toy hunt video, here's the thumbnail. And just in case you want to search for that one, and all these things will be down in my description of the video as well, all the links. This is a 2011 Medicom Toys Star Wars Kubrick Unbreakable R2-D2 limited edition. CAS 80, card got an 80, blister got an 80, and the figure got an 85. It is a yellowed blister, but super nice condition. These were released in Japan. And let's see, we got all the Japanese writing down here. And this company, Medicom Toy Company, is located in Japan. But it says, how crazy, it says it's made in China. But it is a Takara Tomy line. I don't even know what that means. But from my understanding, these were released in Japan. I can see Japan down here, but they were made in China. So, psych, they got us again. And now with the next 4 mint on card figures here are all items that I'd picked up from a specific seller. Took a chance on them, sent them all in, and they got all pretty decent grades. So we'll go over those. Obviously, this is the B-Wing pilot, and we have a CAS 80 plus. It's a yellowed blister, 1983 Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi 77 back A B-Wing pilot. Card got an 80, blister got an 80, and the figure got an 85. And look at the back. The back's super clean. I mean, I don't see anything at all on the back of this card. It's super nice. And we had a Kmart. Ooh, Kmart sticker. No more Kmarts around. And otherwise, looks pretty awesome. Don't have a B-Wing. None of these mint on cards do I have these characters already graded as a mint on card. I've got plenty of these loose graded, but I'm starting to try to get the full run of the mint on cards, and so this helps out. Next up is a yellowed blister 88 that's also from Kmart. And we've got a CAS 75. It's a 1983 Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi 77 back A88. Card got a 75, blister got an 80, figure got an 85, and it came to a 77.2, so almost got that 75 plus. But really, it's very clean looking card. I'll turn it a little bit so you can see just that yellowed blister. And what is it? The card got a 75. There is this small little ding right there on the card, and a small one maybe right here. And then something happened up here on the tab. When the tab came off, it kind of made these little bumps. So that must be it. Let's look at the back. Back looks super clean. I don't see anything wrong with the back. So maybe it was just that the the hanger being pulled out here cause these little tiny dings. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you see something I don't. But otherwise, looks super clean and nice. Okay, we have an ATST driver from Target. $2.79 for this guy. It's on the Return of the Jedi card, and it's unpunched. And we've got a 1983 Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi 77 back A ATST driver. Card got an 80 blister, got an 80 figure, got an 85 for an overall CAS 80. Again, just a super clean looking card. I mean, the only thing is just the yellowed blisters, and then obviously they're yellowed. I mean, look how yellow that is going around there. But you can see the figure easily, and the back of the card looks super nice. Well, there is some litho damage right here. Something happened right along here. And even on the back of the hanger tab, we can see a little bit damage. What was the overall thing? The card got an 80. See, this card here, I think, is in worse shape than the 88 that we just saw. The 88, I'm looking at it right now. I think it looks way nicer than this one, but this one got a better score. So who knows? I mean, I'm not going to argue at getting an 80. I'll take an 80 all day, but this one seems to have some very noticeable blemishes on it. There's even some litho damage right along in here. There's a right along that. Oops, I'm covering it. Right along there. And there's a little ding there. So, I mean, who knows? But anyway, look at this. Display's awesome. Doesn't even matter. Looks great. All right, everybody's favorite is General Madine. And this one's going to blow your minds as well. I don't understand this. So Target, $2.59 for this guy. It was on super clearance. Get him out of there. And we've got a CAS 80, 1983 Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi 65 back A General Madine. Card got an 80, blister got an 85, and figure got an 85. And it is slightly yellowed. We can see that yellowing happening there, but it looks super clean. But I mean, look at the hanger tab up here. We got a ding there. We got those same little bumps going around. There's even a dent on this part here. And then look up here. Look at the, we got some creasing along that card. And there's even a wave to the card. If we look at it this way, you can see the card has kind of like an S-shaped wave to it. On the back, we can see that there's a little bit of a ding here in the corner. Otherwise, the back looks pretty good. No, there's a little bit even down here. You can see there's this little bit of like staining or something that's happening up here. And then a ding right there on the back of the blister. Or the back of the card. And you're telling me that's an 80. And this one that doesn't have anything, I can't find anything wrong with it. I mean, what in the world? This is a 75, and this is a 75 here, and this is an 80. I couldn't tell you. It doesn't make any sense. Again, but what can I do? There's nothing you can do. You just got to accept it and move on. And based on what we've seen here, I would rather the 88 is the only one that gets dinged down, even though it's the nicest card out of all of them. And the other ones still get these higher grades. I mean, that's what I would prefer. So let's just keep it the way it is. And I got 3 decent grades, and one of them that I think is actually the best card out of all of them got the worst grade, and we're just going to accept it. All right, now don't laugh at me, but this is a Bossk, obviously, and it's graded. This is AFA grade, and it's going to be a little bit lower grade, but I don't have any Bosks. They seem to go for so much money, and I got this for incredibly cheap on eBay. And so we take a look at this, and we've got an AFA graded 1983 Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi 65 back B Bossk. It's a 60, yellowed 60. Card got a 60, blister got a 60, and the figure got an 80. We can see right here, there's a big ding that happened in the blister right down here in the corner. And the card has a lot of damage along, I don't know if you can see it. There's all these reflections, but there's some damage along this corner here. And yeah, you can see it there on the back. So we got the creasing, we got a little bit of a ding. There's a small ding here, but otherwise, I mean, tell me that doesn't display well. I think that displays awesome. That's all I really care about. This is just gonna be added to all my Bosks. And now that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be my 8th Bossk in my collection that is graded. I have a bunch of loose ones all over the place, but this is the 8th one that is graded. And I think it displays awesome, and I don't care about the grade. I got it for such a steal that I had to say okay to it at a 60 grade. Okay, and now we've got the Cloud City playset, and it is inside of this box, and I'm not even going to pull it out. We know what it looks like. It looks like exactly what's there. It does not have the figures, but everything else is complete on the inside, and it's all looks like it was never even put together. And this would have had the baggies for the Han Solo, Lobot, Dengar, and Ugnaught. That's where those baggies would have come from for these figures. And these figures also pop up on other baggies, but that's one way you could have got some baggies for those. There's the back, a little bit discolored compared to this. This is a little bit more green, and this is almost like a blue, like an aqua or teal. It's more like a teal on this backside. But the box actually is in pretty nice condition. And somebody took out the proof of purchase here. We see that a lot. And then obviously this is aftermarket tape, which is just coming right off. Dare I? Dare I just pull this piece of tape off? No, I'm not going to take that piece of tape off. We'll just leave it. And I think we got some aftermarket tape on here too, but there's all the items in there. It's just cardboard. I've had this before, and not with a box, but I just had it displayed as a cardboard, and it's so flimsy that it didn't make sense to have, so I sold it off. But now with a box, I can display this, and it looks super nice up on a wall. And so that's the reason why I've got it. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I've had some issues with CAS when it came to a Dutch Clipper Darth Vader. I sent them one. They said they didn't like the saber, that they wanted a different type of saber, so I had them send it back to me. I found that saber. I sent them it back in again for grading, and with the saber they asked for, and then they said they didn't like the saber again. And so I pretty much gave up and sent them a frustrated email overall, because the second time they didn't even give me a chance to fix it. It just all of a sudden showed up in a box with other graded items. And typically what they'll do is they will tell you that there's a problem with it, give you time to get the right item to them before they reject it. And they didn't even tell me. They just rejected it and sent it back in a box. And so once I sent that email, it got forwarded up to one of the owners, Chris Whitlock, and I will tell you what, he handled things immediately. I gave up on that Dutch Clipper, that specific one, but I have one that is actually sealed in a baggie with the box and everything, with them now being graded, custom grade for that one. And so what they did is Chris said, hey, listen, I want you to send me 2 figures, any figures you want, and I'll grade them for free, and we'll do an expediting shipping on them, or grading and shipping. All that stuff was free. And then a bunch of items that we just saw here were actually included in the box that was sent back to me, and I didn't have to pay any shipping on that one either. So, honestly, all of my shipping costs and the grading costs have actually kind of been recouped by what they did for me. So they graded 2 figures, and I sent them this one here. It's a TIE Fighter pilot. Let's take a look at this. It's a 75, but this is your 1982 Little Letty Star Wars Imperial TIE Fighter pilot. And I don't know why they put Knee and Numb Blaster on here. It is the Letty Blaster. I'm looking at it right now. I know it is, and Chris confirmed it with me over email. It's the no COO version as well. Not sure why they did, but maybe it's because the Little Letty comes with a Knee and Numb like blaster, because it's the black one instead of the gray that the Kenner would have had. Unsure, but yeah, it is obviously the Letty blaster. And here's the back, and I'll tell you a crazy story too. A while back, I told you about a seller from Mexico that shill bids, and it was in one of my videos, maybe, I don't know, a few months ago, 4 months ago, and I have patched things up with that seller, even though they still shill bid, and they sold me this figure, the Little Letty one. I sent it into Chris Whitlock, and he told me, hey, Star Wars Daddy. And they told me I've got a PBP figure. So this is the one I sent in. It's a no COO, and it's actually in nicer condition. As we can see, the orange paint there on his chest looks super nice. There's no little rubs on the feet. Like, this is a very nice condition figure, which was sold to me as a Little Letty. And he got it, and he's like, hey, Mike, I've got these sitting right next to an actual Little Letty version, and we believe this to be a PBP, which would be a Spanish released figure with a scarred COO. And it's going to be too hard to see. I mean, I'm looking at these COOs, and there's these little bumps on the back of the leg right here. They look identical. But I can see, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they can tell that. But this probably would have been an 80 or an 80 plus as a P, but it's a PBP, and I don't have the blaster for that. It has a specific blaster for the PBP. And so, yeah, so still had an issue with that seller on eBay and with CES when they were trying to help me, but I was able to take this one out of my collection, which was up in this display case right here. And it had been sitting there for a while, so I just took that one out. Now this one will probably go back up to replace this one that came out. And yeah, 75, and I was hoping for an 80, but it's okay. We all got it resolved. And the last of the graded Star Wars items, we've got one more after this, but this one was bought off Rogue 5 Toys. I sold my loose one, and if you can see the color of this Boba Fett, you should know what this is. 1979 PBP Star Wars Boba Fett, no COO, one line, CPG double scar, painted knee, unpainted dart. This is your tri-logo. Boba Fett 75 plus, which is great. We were hoping for an 80, but we also, Chris and I, when we talked, we thought maybe it could be a 75 plus, 80 somewhere in there. And I had to find the specific blaster, which I had. It's understood that the tri logos, they could have had maybe any of the dark blue, black blasters. I looked it up on Variant Villain to see what this type of COO they said would be a Spanish type released blaster. I hunted through all the ones I had, and I had the actual version of it. I can't remember which version it is, but I sent that in just in case, so I didn't have any problems. But look how beautiful this is, and this is my first graded tri-logo PBP Boba Fett in my collection. And at some point here soon, I have all my Boba Fetts right down here with the Slave 1 in there, and I've got the Mandalorian. It's kind of like a whole scene happening here, tons of Boba Fetts. And so we'll probably do a Boba Fett collection at some point, but I have a couple more that I'm hunting down right now to add to my collection before we do that video. But beautiful figure. So glad to add this to my collection. Okay, and the next thing, or last thing that I've got here is that life-size BB-8 that's all remote control. Look at him go. Oh my gosh. We don't know what we're doing. Yeah, the sides. Oh, I see. Maybe I can push it like this. Oh my gosh, he's all over. Look how fun this thing is. Okay, and this is the giant BB-8 that we just saw scooting around. Just want to show how big he is. I feel like he's even bigger than what this is looking like. But awesome to add this to my collection. I've got the life-size Yoda and the Grogu up there. And I've got my giant R2-D2 Pepsi cooler. So all of those items are kind of like the life-size versions. And this BB-8 is going to fit right in. He's actually pretty heavy. But fun to have this. Got this from my buddy Ian, and he sells a bunch of items. He's known as Kid Rocks on eBay, and he lives down the street from me, and he's selling a lot of his collections. So I end up getting some pretty good deals from him and putting a lot of stuff into my collection from his, and I appreciate it. Okay, we did it. We got through all of those items. It was unbelievable. I know some of these aren't high-end items and nothing that are really super collectible, but we did have the ones at the end, the Star Wars items that were unbelievable. And so, but I hope you enjoyed seeing some of these things that you might have had when you were younger, or that you have now, or things that you would like to collect. We had the full gamut. We had Ninja Turtles, we had Simpsons, we had Wrestlers, we had Dick Tracy, we had Batman, we had Transformers, we had a life-size Star Wars item that was remote controlled, BB-8. He went nuts, and I'm gonna have a short coming out on BB-8 next Friday. So this upcoming Friday, there will be a short on him. We just had the short on Luke Skywalker, the double telescoping Luke that just sold here today, and on my eBay site, and it went for a ton of money. So make sure to check out that short as well. All those shorts, they seem to help bring subscribers to my channel. And so I've got to put out more shorts. And the number of subscribers right now, it's 540. It just keeps going up every single week. I feel like every single time that I announce where those subscribers at, they just keep going up. The Star Wars items, we had mint on cards graded. We had those loose figures. We had that little Letty TIE Fighter, which we had a whole thing about, and Nightmare, but it got all fixed. And then we had that PvP Boba Fett that, again, was part of the Nightmare. Thank you to CAS for taking care of me and Chris Whitlock. He was awesome in really making me whole and taking care of the situation. Upcoming videos. Like I told you, we're going to have a Darkwing Duck video of all my graded items. I'm staring at them all right down below me, and we're missing the number one piece, Darkwing Duck, mint on card graded. And so I reached out to CAS asking why in the world they haven't sent me an invoice for that one yet. So hopefully I'll have that the next week or so. But if it's a week or so, that means that next week I've got to come up with another video, and I already have that video prepared, ready to go. It's the Shadows of the Empire, which is some more modern type stuff. I guess it'd be vintage now. It's kind of like in between the vintage and modern era. And I've got tons of graded items. I've got just some weird, wacky stuff. I got video games, all stuff that's Shadows of the Empire. I've got the whole line of comics that are right here. And so we're going to go over all those items and just see what in the world I have in my collection. Down in the comments, if you could, let me know what figure or character you would like to see from my collection for 3 weeks from now, and I'll do a feature on that figure. We'll have video clips, we'll have some funny stuff in there, and we'll show all the items that are in my collection. We've already done Yoda, Vader, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, and I think that's it. I think we've done those 4 there. So let me know who you'd like to see, and the number 1 votes that are down below in the comments, I will do a feature on that. We can take a look at a part of my collection. Make sure this Wednesday you check out episode 38 of my eBay listing videos. That will be the next video that comes out. Those come out always on Wednesdays because it takes me a few days of editing and filming and packaging and shipping and to get all that stuff completed and done so I can make those videos. And there are 95 items that are going up for sale. It's going to be another huge weekend. And like I said, next weekend, which will be the next Wednesday, so it'll be episode 39 of those eBay listing videos, there's going to be 90. And it's unbelievable. Again, like I said, I have a giant box of all completed figures. There must be 400 plus figures in there. We've got some vehicles, we got play sets, we got all that stuff. And I keep winning collections on eBay for incredible prices. And then I turn around and I'm able to get those items to you for those pieces that you need to finish your collections. And before we go, if you could do the one thing that helps support me, besides leaving those comments down in the comment section, if you could please hit that like, subscribe, and click that bell notification to be notified of all that upcoming content. I would really appreciate it. And until the next time, C-3PO, he's excited. Who's your daddy? Oh, and the Iron Sheik is taking down my camera. Perfect. Oh, okay. we're having fun. Cool. What is this thing called? The party wagon? And son of a